I don't even think about it anymore. And that could become a problem. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am alcoholic. Today, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. I want to give a special shout out to Deb B. You guys have seen her here on the Recovery Classroom sharing her morning monologue. And last night, she took a bold step. She stepped outside of her comfort zone, and rather than talking into a camera like we do whenever we do these monologues, she went into a room full of people, with a lot of people in there, and shared her experience, strength, and hope. She went to the treatment facility that we visit every Tuesday and Saturday, and she poured her heart out and was able to share her experiences in sobriety and her journey to recovery. So Deb, you did a fantastic job. What a growth opportunity last night. I'm so proud of you. And to our friends in the facility, thank you for allowing us to come in and connect and engage with you to share our message of hope, healing, and restoration. Phenomenal job, Deb. So proud of you. I don't even think about it anymore. And that could become a problem. I was on the phone with a friend of mine whom I've known and worked with for several years now, and he is not one of us. He's not an alcoholic nor a drug addict. He is familiar with the disease. He understands how it works. It has reared its ugly head in his life in an indirect way, but enough of a way to where he understands it. And so while we were talking, he knew I picked up my 4-year chip the other day, and he said, "Hey, do you ever even think about drinking anymore? Do you ever think about it?" And I was like, no, honestly, I don't. Hell, just last week, my family and I were in a restaurant, and it never even crossed my mind. We were in a restaurant that actually sold booze, but it never crossed my mind. It wasn't like I was sitting there going, man, this cheeseburger looks pretty good, but I really would like a drink. You know, I wasn't setting, I'm never setting at a stoplight by a liquor store and going, damn, I wish I could go in there and buy a bottle. I just don't think about my alcoholism, at least not in the context of actively using. But I do try to think about my alcoholism in the context of recovery. And in that conversation, I went on and I pointed out to him, I said, I have to be thinking about it within the context of recovery. While I do not, it just does not come to my head in the context of actually using and drinking, but it is always there. It has to be there in my head from the context of recovery. One of the things I heard whenever I came in the rooms, whenever I'm in a meeting or I'm talking, or trying to pick up that experience, strength, and hope from other people in a meeting, my alcoholism is out in the parking lot doing jumping jacks. Whenever I'm laying down trying to go to sleep at night, my alcoholism is on the headboard. He's doing push-ups and calisthenics and jumping jacks. He's waiting for me to become complacent. That's what my alcoholism is always waiting for me to screw up. And usually the biggest screw up, at least for me, has always been complacency, where I stop thinking about my alcoholism within the context of recovery. See, my alcoholism, his sole attention is focused directly on me. Whereas I have a career, I have a family, I have responsibilities, I have things I have to take care of. So it's easier for me to get distracted and to not think about my alcoholism. And whenever I stop thinking about my alcoholism, that's how I become complacent. And that's where my alcoholism, who only has to think about me, that's how he sneaks back in. Time and again, my whole life history, my whole history of my alcoholism has proven whenever I stop thinking about my alcoholism within the context of recovery, then that's how it sneaks back in. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's been a couple years. Maybe I can take that first drink. Maybe I have figured this out. All right. And that's why I was sharing with my friend. I always have to be thinking about my alcoholism from a recovery perspective rather than an actively using perspective. I'm thankful to God I can go into a restaurant or drive past the liquor store and not have the slightest inkling, slightest idea about wanting to pick up and start drinking again. It just doesn't happen. And I'm grateful for that. But with that being said, while I'm not thinking about it, if I'm not thinking about it, that could become a problem because that's how complacency creeps back into my life, and it ultimately has led me back into the world of actively using, actively drinking. I want to share that with you today. While we don't have to think about it from the context of using and actively participating in our addiction, we do have to keep it in the back of our mind that it is always there. It is waiting for us to stop thinking about it so it can take advantage of that complacency that can creep back into our lives. I'm out of time. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys, keep me sober. I couldn't be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.